3.
Having It Out for Omar, When Truth Series Tells a Lie, by Michelle Heckes and Emma Astrup.
Our headline says, Ilhan Omar faces 40 years in prison and deportation after newly uncovered crimes. Our story does meet disinformation criteria. First, our story is objectively untrue, not just misleading or biased. Ilhan Omar has never faced 40 years in prison or deportation because of newly uncovered crimes. I found sources that confirmed there have been no legal proceedings and that they haven't found any proof of newly uncovered crimes. So the first source is Reuters, I don't know how to pronounce that. According to Reuters, they did not find any active or ongoing legal proceedings incriminating Omar at the time of this check. Omar's team confirmed to Reuters via email that she is not under any formal investigation. And this article is from May 19th of 2020. And according to Business Insider, there is no hard evidence like a birth certificate that has surfaced to prove that Elmi is Omar's brother or that any fraud was committed, especially since he left the US after he and Omar separated in 2011. Was the article intentionally misleading? Most likely. The headline is absolutely false. However, it is possible that another news story came first that they copied or they got their information from, like the news clip from Next News Network that the article refers to. Our headline does meet the third part of the definition, that it is disguised as actual journalism, not just a meme, tweet, or claim by someone. As we can see from the quote below, the author looks like a reliable source of real journalism by quoting other sources. So we have the quote, the Gateway Pundit reports, and then there's another quote, according to Steinbeck, there's credible evidence, and it goes on. So then also another way that it looks like a credible source is the Truth Series website is set up to look like a legitimate news website by having politics, lifestyle, and business and world news, etc., on top of its website as options to click on. But there also are dead giveaways that this is not professional journalism. I found the following typo. You can see that there isn't a space between crimes and representative with the arrow there pointing to it. And also another thing that didn't look professional in the article is there were two of the same memes among all of the words, and the meme looked unprofessional. This article fits the fourth criteria, that it was known by its creator to be fiction. There have been no official legal proceedings against Omar, as proven by Reuters and Business Insider. So her sentence was made up too. Someone must have just grabbed the number 40 out of the thin air.
So what was demonstrably false about this article? Well, the headline states, Ilhan Omar faces 40 years in prison and deportation after newly uncovered crimes, says US Right Left. There is a Reuters article, as mentioned before, that says This fact check will not examine Steenberg's investigation. Omar, however, cannot face 40 years in prison and deportation if no legal proceedings are currently ongoing against her, making these claims and headlines inaccurate. There are no facts or evidence proving that this headline is true, which makes it demonstrably false. What is empirically false about it? Quote from the US Right-Left website, the original Disinformed website, says Representative Ilhan Omar could be facing up to 40 years in prison or deportation to her home country if found guilty of the 7 new crimes uncovered, as well as Omar committed at least 8 instances of perjury going back to 2009. The words could and up to, also if, are signs of uncertainty in their writing. These claims aren't backed up with detail either, like seen in the second quote. So what is objectively false? Obviously, Omar has no regard for the US law, and yet here she is representing Minnesota in the US Congress and a sitting member on the House of Foreign Affairs Committee, claims the US Right-Left article. This quote clearly shows that the writer has a personal bias against Ilhan, and it's an opinion instead of a fact, because none of these speculated crimes have been proven to be true. What evidence suggests the story was designed to deceive? This video shows David Steenberg from PJ Media, New York City, as an editor, supposedly speaking to an audience saying Ilhan Omar has committed multiple crimes. There's no audience shown in this video, and there is also background music playing over Steenberg talking. Reporter Gary Franchi says in this video, quoted, "This is huge, huge news, friends. Get this out across all your social media platforms right this minute." So why would there be a need to promote the breaking news if it's true? Also, wouldn't other news media channels have a similar story? Trump is also pictured in this, whereas he isn't really involved in this breaking news video. So I think it's just to have some credibility, show some credibility. So let's take a quick look.
Criminal charges against Ilhan Omar could be brought up. Wow, this is huge, huge news, friends. Get this out across all your social platforms right this minute. Ilhan Omar's days are numbered in Congress. 40 years she's looking at in prison, possible deportation.
So, what makes you say it was disguised as actual journalism? This US Right-Left news article is questionable because it has arisen out of speculation, and there is currently no proof of any of these accused crimes to be true. There have been other political speculations regarding ethnic differences, like CNN quotes, President Donald Trump questioned the politics of his decision to finally acknowledge former President Barack Obama was born in the US, which he did late during the campaign in 2016, according to a source close to the White House. I'm sure a lot of you heard about that speculation, which I thought was kind of similar to this, although different, kind of similar. The disinformed headline, lack of factual evidence, and grammar and spelling errors does not show credibility. What evidence do you have that its creator knew it was untrue? The article was short with many ads between, so there wasn't much information or evidence from their own research, I'm assuming. Phrases like could carry up to 40 years and could be facing show that the US Right-Left didn't want to officially state something that is untrue. Claims were added from the Gateway Pundit and David Steinberg, which are biased and non-credible sources. So, as mentioned before as well, the Gateway Pundit reports, according to Steinberg, there is credible evidence that Ilhan Omar and her family changed their name illegally to enter the United States back in 1995. As you see then, following the arrow, the gatewaypundit.com is said to be a partisan conservative website that regularly publishes hoaxes, conspiracy theories, and unsubstantiated claims, including those related to the COVID pandemic, from newsguardtech.com.
So what was learned? One thing I learned is that disinformation is motivated by extreme politics. I personally have never gotten into disinformation. I have never looked closely at it, but we looked at the link to the video in our article, and the reporter starts out by saying that he has excellent news to report that Ilhan Omar is facing 40 years in prison. So this is happy news. So there's just something definitely negative motivated behind it.
And to add, I learned that the media is able to publish disinformation, but there are literacy skills that can help determine what is true and what is not. Everyone has their speculations, but when disinformation is shared, there are clues about what is factual and what is only claimed. So just really having an eye for errors, like there were a lot of spelling and grammar errors, and it just didn't look like a real, legit, incredible news website.
So based on our work, the problem of disinformation might be solved by including more conservative views in mainstream politics. For example, our Minneapolis newspaper, Star Tribune, is Democratic, and conservatives might not feel like turning to alternative sources if papers like the Star Tribune included both Democratic and Republican views or appeared more neutral.
Those are our sources. Thank you for watching.
Yep, thank you.